What's going on, guys? Stefan, S&E's Garage. Things aren't looking too good with the JK. So we were out in the trails last night with the kids, taking them on a nice trail ride. Weren't doing anything too crazy, just, crawling around, going through some puddles, not too deep, the usual stuff. I didn't even have to use four-wheel drive. And on the way out of the trail, we got back up onto the road, and I started hearing a noise. And at first it sounded like power steering, whining noise. But as I kept driving, I was greeted by a check engine light. And that's when I kind of knew something a little bit more serious was going on. Now keep in mind, when we bought this thing, we already knew it had a pretty bad torque converter shudder. So I bought it with the expectation that it was eventually going to need some transmission work. I just didn't think it was going to be this soon. We've put maybe 500-600 miles on this thing. I drove it to work a couple times, and I work about, 30 miles away, so about a 60-70 mile round trip. And it worked flawlessly, so I was completely blindsided by this. But we were greeted with two codes. There was a transmission line pressure low code, and then a low reverse pressure switch error code. And I believe they are both correlating with each other, basically meaning this transmission, the pump isn't able to push enough fluid through it. Whether that's because the filter's clogged from the torque converter clutches eating each other up, I'm not sure, but I'm kind of at the point where I don't know if it's worth me dropping the pan to put a filter in it and just prolong the inevitable, because either way, this trans has to come out to fix that torque converter. And at that point, why am I just going to band-aid it? I may as well pull the trans, get it rebuilt, and slap it back in. So I have it running right now, and you can kind of hear it whining already. Let me put you up under here. This transmission is not happy. If you saw the video I did on the trans flush, you'll see that fluid was black. Didn't smell burnt, but it was obviously well past the state of needing replacement. So we're probably going to be pulling the trans on this thing. I've already called a couple places. They're going to give me some quotes on if I give them the trans, what will they rebuild it for. I am ASE certified in transmissions, but it's not something that I do every day, and it's not something that I feel I can repair reliably. I'm sure I could do it, but I don't know exactly what to look for, what not to look for, and I'd rather let somebody that does this every day do something like that. But what's crazy is it still drives fine. So you'll see here we have no warning lights on. We went ahead and got our airbag recall completed at the Jeep dealer for completely free. But you'll see we're in reverse. There it goes. Yeah, there's something going on with this thing because it delayed going into reverse. It didn't want to shift. Yeah, she's hurt. She's hurt. Alright, so I guess that solidifies it. You guys let me know in the comments, what should we do here? Should we drop the pan, inspect for debris, slap a filter in it if it doesn't look too bad, and keep driving until the trans completely blows? Or do we cut our losses here, pull the trans, get a new converter, and get the trans rebuilt? That way we are getting a like-new transmission in this thing. Let me know what you think. This isn't the best news in the world, but it's also not the worst. Again, we bought this with the expectation that it was eventually going to need a transmission. Just like I said, I didn't think it was going to be this soon. So like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned if you're interested in this project. We're going to have a lot more content now coming up with it. If I'm going to pull the trans, I'm going to do the rear main seal, and we're going to take it to the next step. We're going to freshen everything up. If it needs U-joints, I'm going to do U-joints because I'll have the drive shafts out. And we're just going to completely go over the, you know, the drivetrain now, because if I'm putting a trans in it, it doesn't make sense to not go over everything else. So like, share, and subscribe, please. We're gonna need as many likes, shares, and subscribes on this project as we can, because it's about to get really expensive. We'll see you on the next one.